When it comes to midsize trucks in the US market, the Chevy Colorado is definitely one of the go-to models for many buyers. The Chevy Colorado simply delivers in many aspects, and this truck is worth the attention of any buyer out there. But there are also some downsides that are a deal breaker for many of the buyers. So if you want to learn more about these cons, stay with us while we cover the 8 shocking reasons why Chevrolet Colorado is not selling. Number 8. No multi-link suspension. Now, let's start with one of the biggest downsides of the Chevy Colorado, which is the lack of a proper modern suspension. For those who don't know, the Chevy Colorado is a mid-size pickup truck that is based on the ladder chassis. This is a heavy-duty chassis that allows you to do a ton of heavy lifting. With this ladder frame, leaf spring suspension in the rear is a very common occurrence. The leaf spring suspension is a pretty outdated design these days. It is excellent for payload and towing, but it makes the overall driving experience too floaty, especially at highway speeds. And for a mid-size pickup truck, this approach is pretty much overkill because these trucks are not loaded with extreme weight as the full-size trucks. So competitors like Toyota already started offering a multi-link setup in the rear as an option. A multi-link setup will give you a more enjoyable driving experience compared to the classic leaf spring setup. And considering the popularity of this approach, Toyota made a very good decision. We strongly hope that Chevy will follow and implement this setup in the Colorado. This will definitely make the Colorado a much more attractive option to buy, especially for the people who want to have the best driving experience out there. Number 7. Lack of configurations. Now, let's talk about another downside of the Chevy Colorado, and that is the lack of available configurations when it comes to cab and bed options. Manufacturers these days are trying to reduce manufacturing costs, and a popular way to do so is to cut the available configurations. Back in the day, there was an option between a regular, extended, and a crew cab, and also a few bed variations. But these days, the choice is narrowed down to only a single option. This is also the case with the Chevy Colorado. This model only comes with a crew cab and a 5-foot bed, just like the GMC Canyon, Honda Ridgeline, Jeep Gladiator, and Ford Ranger. There are only a few trucks that will still offer an extended cab and a longer 6-foot bed. These are the Toyota Tacoma and Nissan Frontier. So buyers tend to choose the Tacoma over the Chevy Colorado for this reason. What we expect from Chevy is to reintroduce the extended cab and offer a longer 6-foot bed. This decision will make the contractors out there who need this truck for work extremely happy. Having such a practical truck will allow them to scale their business and not overspend on a full-size pickup truck in order to get these options. This is why we strongly hope that Chevy will reconsider this decision and offer something for everyone out there. Number 6. The base engine might be a bit rough. Another problem with the latest generation of the Chevy Colorado is definitely its engine. This engine can be described as rough around the edges. With the latest generation of this truck, GM decided to go on a different route and ditch the good old V6 for something smaller. Downsizing is a trend these days that manufacturers follow in order to achieve better emissions and improve efficiency. So GM introduced an all-new 2.7-liter inline-4 turbo engine. This engine is known as the L3B and is basically a heavy-duty 4-banger. Its design follows many of the approaches used in diesel engines. This makes it extremely durable and able to withstand a ton of load. But the downside is the roughness of this engine. Since it is a small package that produces a lot of power, it has a tendency to create vibrations. These vibrations are very noticeable inside the cab, especially at idle, and can be frustrating to deal with. Reportedly, only the low output version produced these excessive vibrations, while the high output engine was a bit nimbler. In addition to this, this engine is not that user-friendly, especially on cold mornings. If you plan to jump in and drive off, you might struggle until the engine warms up. So it's a good thing to start up the engine and let it warm up for a minute or two before you plan to do anything with this truck, especially in the cold, frosty winter mornings. Number 5. No diesel engine. Another downside of the all-new Chevy Colorado is definitely the lack of a diesel engine. This is a deal breaker for many buyers out there. Manufacturers these days are quickly ditching the diesel engines in their lineups and replacing them with turbocharged gas-powered engines. And this is also the case with the Chevy Colorado. With the previous generation, buyers had the chance to opt for the 2.8-liter Duramax diesel, but not anymore. The only way to get a diesel these days is to go for the Chevy Silverado, and this diesel in the Silverado is optional and can cost a lot more compared to the gas-powered engines. We really don't know why this is the case, because diesel engines tend to deliver great amounts of low-end torque. This makes them perfect for towing heavy loads. But most importantly, these engines deliver excellent fuel economy compared to the gas-powered engines. So we strongly hope that these trends will stop and we will once again see a diesel engine in the Chevy Colorado. A diesel engine will bring a ton of sales for Chevy and will also make sure that the environment is safe, considering the fact that these modern diesel engines use EGR, DPF, and many other technologies to reduce pollution. Number 4. No hybrid or electric version. Another downside of the Chevy Colorado that makes this model sell a lot less than expected is the lack of hybrid and electric powertrains. Many of you would disagree on this, but we have the data to back up our claim. Specifically, in the US, there are many buyers who are interested in such models, especially in states like California. Californians are known for their progressiveness and willingness to try new things that would make their life better. One of these initiatives is the Green Initiative, and many buyers are hyped for these green vehicles. So more and more manufacturers are starting to offer hybrid and electric powertrains. One of these manufacturers that already offers a hybrid is Toyota. They offer a mild hybrid model known as the Tacoma iForce Max. Ford is also reportedly working on its own plug-in hybrid version of the Ford Ranger for the 2025 model year, and it's high time that Chevy does the same and offers a hybrid model with the Chevy Colorado. Number 3. Average fuel economy. A big area of discussion these days is definitely how good MPGs a certain truck delivers. Gas prices are growing day by day, and buyers want to own a truck that delivers good MPGs. And we can tell you that the Chevy Colorado is an average performer in this area. The numbers that the Colorado delivers are not something special. The low output version of the Colorado delivers up to 22 mpg combined, while the high output version delivers up to 20 mpg combined. These numbers are only good if you use summer tires. If you use all-terrain tires, MPGs will drop significantly. So the ZR2 Bison model with this kind of tire only gets up to 16 mpg. The only way to improve these numbers is to introduce a plug-in hybrid or mild hybrid. With this kind of setup, we can expect that the numbers will improve to at least 26 mpg combined. On top of that, with a plug-in hybrid, you can also enjoy good EV autonomy of at least 30 miles in electric mode alone. This is why we hope that Chevy will introduce these changes and boost the MPGs of this truck a bit more compared to the current ones. Having good MPGs will definitely make this truck a king of the midsize segment. Number 2. Poor comfort inside the cabin. Another downside of the Chevy Colorado is the poor cabin comfort. This model is not one of the roomiest around. This is a problem across the whole midsize lineup. There's hardly any model that allows good passenger comfort for the rear seats. Taller people might struggle for legroom in the Chevy Colorado. Unfortunately, this problem is not easily solvable. So if you want to have more room inside, you should go for the Chevy Silverado. This is a full-size model that will allow plenty of legroom for the rear seats and fewer compromises overall compared to the midsize Colorado. Number 1. Interior feels extremely cheap on lower trims. The last reason why the Chevy Colorado is not selling is because of the cheap interior that this model has. The interior can be described as extremely cheap, especially in the work truck. This model is the most basic that you can get. It is flooded with cheap plastic everywhere. Even the steering wheel is made from some kind of plastic compound material. So overall, it is a no-no for many buyers. These days, many buyers want to own a truck that offers decent features and materials, even in the most basic trim available.